And now just 3 weeks in, you have so many people saying, tank, tank, tank. You're 0-3. You're the worst team in the NFL. You're one of 4 winless teams in the NFL. But if you tank, you are turning everything over again outside of the offensive play caller, the head coach, because people want George Payton fired. Mm-hmm. People want Vance Joseph fired. And any stability you thought you had outside of the offensive side of the ball, it's gone. It's completely gone. Now, the hope would be that then Sean would bring his own guy in at general manager, bring another defensive coordinator in after the season, and then you have stability there. But that was supposed to be what just happened this year. Mm-hmm. But that was supposed to be the thing with Sean Payton. With Nathaniel Hackett, yeah, you hoped he was going to be here for a while, but he was this inexperienced guy. Maybe it wasn't going to work out. With Sean, there's supposed to be no question about that.
Real quick, Sean ran through defense coordinators in New Orleans. Like, that did happen pretty regularly. After Dennis Allen left, like, he ran through Spags. He mowed through some DCs. Like, that did happen. I mean, listen, I'm just saying, like, you're talking about stability, and, like,
a great point.
That has been the past. That has happened there. So, I mean, yeah, he could always be looking for his guy. I mean, he has carte blanche in that building, right? Yeah. Very 100%. Few head coaches around this league have probably the say in the entire building that Sean has. Yeah. I'm going to say Belichick.
Without a doubt.
Andy Reid. Yep. I was going to say Kyle, but he's got a really good partnership with John Lynch. But, like, he can bring in his own GM if he wanted to.
Yeah,
I think 100%. They'd almost let him if things get that bad. But you're talking about tanking after 3 games?
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. You think it's crazy?
Yes. Like, we were going to, I told you I wanted to talk about this, that's saying, like, when are we benching Russ as, like, the national narrative? And I was on NFL Network talking about it today, being like, how is that? That's just a lazy narrative, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, just saying, when are they moving on from Russ? Like, if you've watched all 3 games, I don't think you're moving on from Russ. Has he been perfect? No. Has there been mistakes? Yes. Has there been mistakes that fall on several other people and on him, honestly, with some turnovers and stuff? But you're 3 games into it, learning a new offense.
Yep. Yeah.
And you're going to say, like, let's move on?
I just feel
there's just too much consistent, Todd, like, success between your play caller and your offensive leader and your quarterback in this league, both of them.
Yep.
To just give up after 3 games? It doesn't even make sense to me, honestly.
I just feel like the reason why a lot of people are saying tank now is because if you look through the schedule, it would be easy to do. Besides the Jets and the Bears, like Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Chargers, Raiders, like we don't know how many games we're going to win anyway. So if we just went the route of tanking, like it's only really like giving up maybe 2 more games throughout the season. And I don't know if we tank for a quarterback, but maybe we tank for just a high pick. I don't know if we need to, get rid of Russ, but we also need pieces. So tanking will put us towards the top of that draft picking to where we could get another really good piece.
And that's maybe the most interesting part about this conversation when it comes to tanking and the Broncos this year, next year, the year after, is Russ is not the issue with this team right now.
Yep.
But there is Caleb Williams, Drake May in this coming draft class. Obviously, Caleb Williams, maybe one of the best prospects at quarterback ever, and it still is a prospect. You still don't know if he's going to turn into Patrick Mahomes. I think those comps are pretty wild. But then Drake May, too, is also a guy who's viewed as like an incredible prospect. But if you get one of those guys, you're obviously moving on from Russ. And if Russ plays to a level that you could trade him and get good capital back for him, then you're not going 3-14 this year. You're not going to do that, and you're probably not moving on from Russ. But if you move on from Russ, you are killing yourself cap-wise, whether it's a trade, whether it's a cut, not just for next year, but for the next 2 years. So then you're in a sticky situation where you have a young quarterback that has not much talent around him already, and then plus you're going to have to trim down the roster in order to cut Russ and move on from Russ. So you're making this team even worse than it is now, and you're bringing a rookie quarterback in. That is a recipe to be the Chicago Bears and what they've been.
who's going to trade for Russ?
Probably no one. Probably no one.
Yeah,
Bears.
with the contract.
That's why you're cutting him. That's
Bears,
likely
yeah.
you're
what's
cutting
going
him.
on.
Yeah.
Nobody financially can pick up that money right now.
Yeah.
But you could take it on the chin and eat all of the cap in 1 year. It wouldn't affect you in 2 years. You could take the largest cap hit in the history of the NFL.
80 million, right?
I think it'd be 45.
45?
45 total, I believe, if it's a post June 1st cut.
But then wouldn't that
Oh
spread
no, I'm
it
sorry,
out
not a
over 2
post
years?
June. No, yeah, I think you could do 45 this year. I haven't looked this up recently, but I'm pretty sure it's 45. The record was 40 with Matt Ryan in Atlanta. And damn, did Arthur Smith do a really good job still winning games somehow with like a half a roster.
Doing a good job
that
now,
next
too.
year. Yeah, Art's a pretty good coach. So it would be the largest cap hit in the history of the league if you took it all in 1 year,
Yeah.
which maybe you do with a rookie if you draft a rookie quarterback at the top. But like you guys are saying that the Broncos are in the likes of like the Bears, the Cardinals, who, by the way, beat the Cowboys, who aren't apparently tanking for Jonathan Gannon by any means, even though they don't have any talent. You'd have to be in the top 2 picks to get one of these quarterbacks.
100%. You have to be that bad. But James, the Broncos are one of 4 winless teams right now.
know.
It doesn't mean that they're one of the 4 worst teams in the NFL, but you look at their losses. Dolphins, that's outside of losing by 50. That's a fine team to lose to because the Dolphins are really good.
Yeah.
The Raiders, their only wins against the Broncos right now.
Raiders
and
look
then
bad.
the Commanders, they have 2 wins. One of them was against the Cardinals. Maybe the Cardinals are a little better than we thought. But after they went out and put 35 on the Broncos, Sam Howell went out and put up 3 points. In fact, he had more interceptions, 4, than points scored for the Commanders. 3. So
That's what I was talking about when I was talking about the game. He wanted to throw picks, but we just couldn't get our hands on him.
it's
But he
true.
was ready. He's a young quarterback.
He was
trying.
And he just skipped over us with them.
He was trying. And then so if you look at those games that the Broncos have lost, you go through the schedule, Todd, and you pointed these next 2 games, probably the most winnable games on the Broncos schedule. And with that Jets defense, that is not a gimme. Really, the Bears should be a gimme. I agree with you, James.
What I'm curious about this, though, Zach, with your tanking scenario, Todd's been in locker rooms.
Yep.
You came in to change the culture of this organization, and you were going to bring in a winning culture with Sean Payton, and you're paying him an obscene amount of money to change not just the locker room, but the entire building.
Yep.
And then you're going to go out there and encourage losing in the very first year that he's trying to change that culture. Todd, is that possible heading into the second offseason? Oh, guys, by the way, I know everything I told you in my first offseason with you is how I'm going to change this, and we're going to do this, and I've changed the entire building.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that again in another way after I tanked this entire season.
Yeah,
It's not believable.
It's gonna be a bad look, especially for his first year. But I can say he could do it without announcing that he's gonna do it. You know,
And
he could just make some questionable calls. You know what I'm saying? Put Russ in some bad positions and you know, just kind of let things happen without putting a lot into winning. You know what I'm saying? Let the defense kind of fall apart as they may. Kind of keep your message the same. Maybe help the offense, but let the defense continue to fall further down so that now the offense is putting up 30 points, but we're still losing 30 to 35. Like, not saying he should do it, but I'm saying there's a way he could do it without saying he's doing it.
And then another way to do it, but he would be admitting to an extent that he's doing it, is you start trading players.
But the other part is it goes entirely against Sean Payton's DNA
100%.
to tank and to be viewed as a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That irks him beyond belief when people are out there thinking he's failing.
Yep.
So I just don't think that matches with the way he is made up by any means.
I completely
I
agree with
agree.
you, James. He started.
I mean, more so than most head coaches.
Yeah. Sean Payton has started 0-3 3 times. This is not a foreign situation to him. All 3 of those seasons, he's finished 7-9, and that's the worst he's ever been as a head coach. Is 7-9. For that to be your worst mark is pretty damn good over a 15-year span. So you're 100. It's not in his DNA, James, and that's why I find it very hard to believe that that's actually what would happen.
No, I don't think so.
And I think the Broncos aren't there yet.